British opposition leader Keir Starmer made his first major speech of the UK election campaign, telling undecided voters that they can trust his Labour Party to safeguard the UK's economy, borders as well as security. Mr Starmer is the favourite to win the July 4th election, with polls giving Labour a double-digit lead over the governing Conservatives under Prime Minister Rishi Sunak. Here's a special report by Sky News political editor Beth Rugby.
At a parish hall in a Tory territory, Keir Starmer setting out his stall.
We're in Sussex, which is a beautiful part of the world, a part I know pretty well.
Today is all about showing you who he is. Working class, relatable, familiar with struggle.
It wasn't easy for us. My dad was a toolmaker. He worked in a factory all of his life. My mum was a nurse. But for most of her life, she had a debilitating illness.
You may have heard this before, but the party's strategists think the electorate are still asking, who is this potential PM and what does he stand for?
The answer to that question, the only answer, the working people of this country delivering on their aspirations, earning their respect, serving their interests. And I know that people are looking at this election, looking at me personally. So I make this promise. I will fight for you.
Keen to shed the lefty lawyer elite image that some might have.
Hi, nice to see you.
Perhaps the sight of Sir Keir drinking cups of tea against a backdrop of Union Jack bunting will become a familiar sight. These visuals are all about showing Keir Starmer's roots. You used this speech to talk personally about what shaped you,
yes,
to better explain your politics. You said a while ago, voters are entitled to ask who you are and where you come from, but you don't like it. What's difficult about that for you?
Well, because a lot of my sort of formative years were about issues like my mum being very ill, very personal, difficult. I spent many hours in high dependency units with my mum, not knowing whether she was going to make it through. As a teenager, I found that really hard. I found it really, really hard. And you may think, other people may think that's the easiest thing to go on national television and talk about. For me, it wasn't. It was really difficult.
Your sister Katie actually said, I've always been quite open about my feelings. Keir's good at most things, but not that.
I think she's probably spot on. She knows me pretty well.
The PM in the South East too, trying to tackle the seat of Chesham and Amersham back off the Lib Dems, but this leader looking increasingly out of control.
It's not exactly the ideal start to this campaign for you, is it? Frankly.
I've been out and about across the entire United Kingdom. Northern Ireland, Scotland, Wales, been in East Midlands and West Midlands, here in the South East. And there's a clear contrast in choice at this election. It's another day. We've had another speech from Keir Starmer, who you've just asked me about. Another half-hour speech. Not a single new idea. Right, he's taking the British public for granted. I don't think this election is a foregone conclusion. We're going to have a debate over the next few weeks, and I'm the one that's putting bold ideas on the table.
But less than a week into the campaign, Sunak really struggling with the team. Outgoing Tory MP for Telford, Lucy Allen, suspended from the Conservatives today after backing the rival Reform candidate in her old seat.
That is the secure future that I'm going to fight for every day of this election, and with your support, we are going to fight to win.
Two leaders setting out their battle lines. Starmer's all about change, Sunak promising a secure future. Which one will you choose to trust?